Hello, this is Phoenix Firestar. Today I'm bringing you another Pokemon FireRed Let's Play. This will be episode 1. Now for those of you who don't know, a Nuzlocke is a challenge variant of the regular Pokemon storyline, where our starter is determined by our last ID number. The number 1 through 3 means we have to take Bulbasaur as our starter, 4 through 6 Squirtle, and 7 through 9 Charmander, with 0 being our choice. Now, once the game starts, how it works is the official Nuzlocke does not start until we receive our first Pokeballs. And whenever we reach a route from that point onwards, the first wild Pokemon that we see that we do not already own, or own a evolution of that Pokemon in its line, we must catch it. If we already have it, we do not have to catch it, and we can move on to the next Pokemon that we see. If we KO the Pokemon that we're attempting to catch, we cannot attempt to catch another one. That route is now locked to us. Another rule of Nuzlocke is that we must name all of our Pokemon. Whoop. Almost forgot to do the lowercase. Not that it would have mattered too much, but I prefer to have the lowercase. And then the next rule of a Nuzlocke is, if a Pokemon faints, then it is considered dead. So we have to release it or throw it back into the box. I'll just be going with the release it is dead. Alright. ID ending in 9, that means our starter is Charmander. That's good. Charmander is my favorite of the 3 Kanto starters. Alright, now this is also a variant rule on the Nuzlocke, is our battle style must be set. Which means we cannot switch out when the opponent's switching out, so it won't tell us what they're sending out until it's out. Which means we don't get the reaction to switch to a Pokemon that's strong against it. We have to take the turn to actually switch out Pokemon. Alright. Going to grab this free potion real quick and then we can start. Now I've been playing Pokemon for about the 21 years that it's been out. Yeah, I originally started with Pokemon Red. And of course my first Pokemon then was Charmander. Because, you know, I liked fire. Not that I, you know, lit things on fire or anything, I just liked the way fire looked. Plus I like the little newt better than the, or salamander better than the turtle and the plant frog thing. Not really sure what the anatomical real version of a Bulbasaur is in this world. I think it might be a frog. Anyway, I was so excited about that, Oh wait, hold on, I almost made a mistake there. 3 through 6 is Charmander. I got mixed up because they're on the table that way. Squirtle is actually 7 through 9. So I'm getting Squirtle as my starter. Alright, let's see. Let's name him Tank. Right, now, at least the good thing about getting a Squirtle is it's pretty defensive and likely to survive, and has a higher chance of surviving in Nuzlocke just from its defenses. But it's also not weak to the first 2 gyms. But yeah, I remember back when Pokemon first came out, and I had that Charmander, and I was real excited, and I loved it. It was like, I remember calling my aunt when it evolved, going, "It happened! My Charmander evolved! I'm so happy!" I love those days, the original Pokemon. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's nostalgia. Going back and, you know, playing the virtual consoles for the games as of late, it's... The games just... The features aren't there like they are in the new ones. So it's completely different. Like, the bag space, it's very limited, and you have to keep tossing stuff, moving stuff. I'm glad they fixed that in these newer ones where you can have whatever in your bag and it'd be fine. Of course, this was the gen that attack moves were also still sorted in by typing, whether they were special or physical, which I did not know until I rewatched Team 4 Stars Pokemon Nuzlocke. Let's see, I'm pretty sure Oak kills it. Yeah. But I did not realize that that is how those stats worked in these games. And grab this free potion. So I always just use the attacks as if they were physical special for a long time. Like, I considered Bite to be physical even after it was turned into a dark type move. Because, you know, it's a bite. I always thought it would be physical, but they didn't fix it until after this 3rd generation of Pokemon games. Now, I know some of you probably noticed that I spell Phoenix differently than how it's actually spelled. There's a reason before that. I'm not really going to go too deep into the details, but I've been using it for a name that way for a long time, even though I know it was spelled incorrectly. It just goes back to a school project I did about a story, and I had to make my own, like, little world and everything. Now, that was the first time I misspelled it, was way back when. But, I've just kept it that way ever since. Because I like the name all my, I'm listed on everything as Phoenix Firestar, essentially. So I'll only be going for about half an hour. If I do it any longer than that, it's really hard for me to upload videos. I've tried on several occasions to do this before, and every time it's, you know, messed up. Because I've had too long of videos have gotten deleted, my microphone's broken on me, I've had a very hard time actually getting this started. Now, my rival's name is Cha-Cha on here, and the reason for it is because that is my friend's nickname. My friend was supposed to be playing this along with me, beside me, you know, as a side-by-side Nuzlocke, and we post them up to the, to our shared Twitch and YouTube accounts, and then have our individual videos posted on our individual accounts, so that you can find them in both places, with both of ours being on our shared accounts. So, you know, you can keep track and watch both of us play. But, we had issues. Every time I go over to his house to record this with him, his nieces would start fighting and yelling, and we told them, hey, we need quiet, we're recording, and they'd walk right up to the mics and start talking to them. Very contrary little girls. But, then the one day that his nieces weren't there when we were recording, we got about most of the first episode done. When his, mom came in with groceries and stubbed her toe. And just started cussing up a storm. And it was loud and clear, even though we were on the other side of the building. So we had to end up just tossing the video. Because, just starting out, we didn't have a video editor just yet. We plan to eventually get a good video editor so we can edit these videos at some point. But we wanted to bring you, you know, the first couple raw videos. So, you know, we're not, you know, just cutting out scenes where our Pokemon might be getting KO'd, because we want to show that we have integrity on these, and we're not going to be fudging it on the way through. And another thing about that Oaks parcel, though, was when I first started playing Pokemon, you know, I kind of just skimmed over all the reading. I read Oaks parcel, his custom Pokeball as a costume Pokeball. So, you know, I was like, is he going to a masquerade party or something? He's just dressing up as a Pokeball? So, you know, my, like, I don't even remember how old I was, 90... Oh, jeez, what was it? Anyway, my young kid mind just pictured this old professor in a big Pokeball outfit. His arms kind of sticking out there like the original Blastoise sprite. Can't really move him, you know. That was just my idea of what Professor Oak was doing in his free time. And it always puzzled me why he was wearing a big Pokeball outfit. Now, sorry if I'm kind of breezing through all the dialogue and everything, but I have just finished my Master Dex challenge for the original Virtual Console Pokemon games, Pokemon Yellow. And I have all 151 Pokemon registered in that Pokedex. And back then, it was no joke to try and raise a Dragonite with no trainers to battle them against but the Elite Four. I did it. It took a couple days, but I did it. But I managed to fill the whole Pokedex, so I'm a little burnt out on, listening to these characters talk in Kanto for a while. I was just moving on to Pokemon Crystal, the Master Dex Challenge, which for a while at least I'll be doing on my own free time, because can't really afford a proper capture card. Well, I ordered a capture card, Nintendo 3DS, to play it, but it has not come in yet. It won't be in for like another week or two. Because unfortunately, the first one I got was not an actual capture card. It was one of those, like, softwared wireless capture cards. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out how to really get that to work. And after a while, I did get it to work, I guess. But it doesn't play DS games. It shuts down whenever I try to play them. So, I'm setting it aside, I'm not worrying about it, I'm ordering an actual capture card to do these Nuzlocks with. And my various other Let's Plays for Pokemon, and whatever games I might feel like doing. Ah, great, talk to Nurse Joy again. At least you aren't trapped in the dialogue forever like on the old games. And I knocked out my first Pokemon on that route down there without thinking about it. I talked straight through that one. Well, there was that route. Alright, let's see, Rattata. That should be enough. Alright, female rat. I'll name her Bianca after I don't know how many of you have actually seen this, but the Rescuers and the Rescuers Down Under, if any of you ever remember that animated movie about these little mice who saved people and like solved mysteries. It wasn't a series, it was just 2 movies. But I remember them very clearly. Of course, it's been a while since they came out. This old man. I don't really need to be shown how to capture Pokemon. I know how to capture Pokemon. All you gotta do is hit them a couple times and throw a Pokeball. And then there's the TGTV. Here we go. Next route. Let's see if I can make up for that Pidgey I could have caught down there. Nope, it's a Weedle. Now, Rat-Tat is not that bad, actually, but I probably won't be using it, and I probably won't really be using this Weedle either. They're there if I need them, but I am not going to waste a slot in my 6-man team on these two. If I can, you know, make a halfway decent team by the off chance. Alright. Male Weedle. What to call him? How about Benson? I believe that was the bee's name in that animated bee movie. Can't even remember what it was called, but I think the bee ended up helping pilots land a plane or something. And then there's that weird thing where it's like, it was linked to iCarly that the female character that the bee liked, or whatever that was human, was his mom, Freddy's mom from iCarly or something. I don't know, it was really weird. And I was like, people have too much time on their hands to come up with this stuff. Yeah, what I was kind of really hoping for down there, though, was the primate. Get myself a Mankey. But, unfortunately that didn't work out because I messed up on that first route. I guess I could have come up here and tried to catch one of the, other two to help increase my chances of getting that Mankey, but, that didn't work out. Just was not paying attention. And it is a Caterpie. Another Pokemon I probably won't use. Which is fine, I don't really need to add another Pokemon until, Misty's gym at least. Before I fight Misty. Maybe I can go up there and get like I think it's Bellsprout you can get in this one. I ended up getting a Bellsprout. Of course, probably. Then I could also get in red, it's Ekans. Alright. What to name the Caterpie? Let's just call him Wormy. After, the worm in, SpongeBob that was actually a caterpillar. Ended up wrecking the whole town. Well, that wasn't technically SpongeBob's fault, but, still. hoping to get in there and fight the rival for 30 minutes. Might not get to that point though. It's already been 25 minutes. Time sure flies, huh? Plus, I am not fast. At least this will eliminate me from having to catch a bug Pokemon later up by Misty's gym. And I could go with Zubat, but that's probably what I'll run into on Mount Moon. I mean, it won't be a Crobat for until after the Nuzlocke is over, probably. But Golbat isn't too terrible, but I mean, Zubat really isn't that great until it becomes a Crobat. I remember back when Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald first came out, my cousins and I were built our secret bases, and one of them went and challenged me at mine. Crobat was the first thing in my party, because, you know, I was trying to use stuff that I don't use all that often. And that Crobat wiped his entire team by itself. And I watched the fight too. It was pretty entertaining. It was, he would have his Pokemon come out. Crobat would be faster, of course, would use Confuse Ray first turn, hit themselves, and fly. They swing and miss, and land after hitting them. And they'd hit themselves again, and that's essentially how it went. It's just a repeating cycle. And it managed to take out his entire team by itself. And I remember laughing hysterically. I could not contain myself because that was just one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That solitary Crobat wiped out my cousin's entire team of 6 Pokemon. I forget what was on the team, of course, but it was a Elite Four beaten team. So we beat the story mode with that team and everything. So it's not like they were just Pokemon without any kind of EVs. Not that we knew about them at the time, but it was crazy though. I think he had used Blaziken though as his starter for that. I think I did the same thing as I went with Torchic also, because usually I always go with the fire types myself, as just my personal preference. I mean, like, I've used all the starters several times, and I like some of them better than the fire starters. But, just again, it was pretty entertaining to watch that Crobat just take out the entire team. And after this Rattata, I'll probably end the episode for the night. Alright. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Phoenix Firestar signing out. Hope you all have a good day.